I love that you're laughing, which means this is translating, so it's good. You're not laughing, and I really don't appreciate it. I'm Spanky Jackson, motherfucker in the house, yay! And I'm 37 years old from Palmerston North in New Zealand. I've been doing drag for a long time, since I was 14. My aesthetic is pure womana fish, lady of the night, fresh tilapia or tuna can. It tastes great. Everything that you probably shouldn't do as a lady, Spanky does it. Even on my knees, you know? So I live in Palmerston North, New Zealand, and it's a rural town. It's probably the size of my asshole, which is quite tight. It's been a while. It's very kind of like family orientated. Nothing happens. I mean, there's barely a nightclub. There's one, and I'm always sitting at the bar with my ass out. So, I mean, they barely even let me in the door, which is quite crazy, because they're like, you can't come in like that. Is it because my nut is gonna fall out? I don't know. It's a fabulous town, though. The people of Palmerston North are amazing. It probably doesn't offer me everything that I need to do, but we make it work. I'm gonna win because I've got perseverance, determination. I'm good at acting, good at hosting, good at singing, good at lyrics. Not so great at the sewing. Maybe a queen can win in a flat wig. I'm basically a walking wet dream, really. Like, let's get on it.
Salopalaba, my name is Queen Kong. I am 29 years old. I've been doing drag for about 6 years, which does not sound like a long time. But yes, she's about 6 years old. Big bitch. Queen Kong is definitely the superhero of the world. She's a monster performer, huge presence. She's also a strong Polynesian warrior goddess, plus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When I say superhero, she saved me first and foremost. The energy that I exude when I'm in this character is definitely what I needed growing up, and all of the strong warrior princesses and queens around me, my mum, my sister, my nana, my cousins, my niece as well. These were strong women that taught me how to be a man and taught me how to be strong. But that strength was something that was a lot more feminine. It was a lot more understanding and nurturing and loving. So Queen Kong is all of those things personified. That's how she was born. Currently based in Adelaide, South Australia, but I'm originally from South Auckland. I've been a professional dancer for the past 13 years full-time. So that's where my background and performance comes from. When you come to see a Queen Kong show, you're definitely gonna be amazed at what this big body can do on stage. You will leave with your jaw on the floor. One of the things that is my biggest influence is where I come from. I'm very proud to be of Pacific descent. I'm Samoan and Tongan, and the reason why that's so important to me is because I come from a long line of talking chiefs, Tulafale, and they held the history of where I come from. And, you know, I feel them. I feel like I'm this mouthpiece in front of a line of people that are relying on me to keep our stories going. So this is my version of being a talking chief. It's why I feel so proud and why I'm such an activist and pushing for visibility and representation. They're very important to me. One of the main reasons why I'm going to win Drag Race, aside from being an incredible performer, is what I represent. We need great leaders. Our world is littered with absolutely shithouse men in power. I think what I represent is a lateral style of leadership, which is more hearing, more negotiable, and more inclusive.
My background is Vietnamese, and I like pho soup. And don't forget, I am a jungle Asian downstairs bitch.
And I'm from Sydney, Australia. Beaufort is, yeah, she's fashion, she's fancy, but y'all can hear her from anywhere around the world because she is just loud.
I've been doing drag for 7 years, but I've only just found my feet. I've only just finally started to take my own opportunities 2 years ago, and from there, it has been life-changing. The biggest misconception about me is that everyone thinks I'm like a typical Asian. Everyone thinks I am quite reserved, I'm quite quiet, but bitch, I am like the complete opposite of quiet and obedient. And I tell you, I break all the rules, and I have and got away with it. It's just this cute face of mine. Oh! Ah! 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 I'm a all-rounder, everything queen. Y'all know I can do everything, okay? You can expect the unexpected. I am so unpredictable. I'll tell you now, I will be doing flip, cartwheels, split, getting wet. I'm coming in guns blazing, baby, and I'm gonna come in strong. They should be worried that I'm gonna send these bitches home. Come on, bitch, let's do it. Go for your dreams, chase them, grab them, by the balls, lick them, taste them, and them.
I am a veteran of Sydney drag, and people think she's old. I can get her, but you know what? Knowledge is power. I'm the super duper Mini Cooper from Sydney, Australia, and I'm 50 years old. That makes me half a century. I think I should have a coin. I like to say this about Mini Cooper's drag: the looks of Cate Blanchett, but the voice of Chris Hemsworth. I've got this very dulcet tone, but I don't like to stick myself into one box, because, you know, if you stick yourself into one box, you're fucking boring. Oh. I love to design, I can sing, I can tap dance, I can entertain. The list goes on and on and on. People always ask me when I started drag, and I always say it was when I was 6 years old, because we had a book parade at school, and my sister used to do ballroom dancing, and I did as well, but I was the boy. And she had this gorgeous tangerine dress. I put it on, I put a witch's nose on, my mum's red wig, which was quite hideous, but I didn't know that at 6. Headed to the book parade as an ugly stepsister from Cinderella, and guess who fucking won? Hello, girls. Holla, it's me. I think work ethic in life is so important. In drag, in anything you do. Nothing is a given. Okay, if you work hard, you receive. If you don't work hard, you're getting nothing. I've achieved everything through hard work. I've won Entertainer of the Year 3 fucking times. A lot of work goes into drag. If you miss one thing, your look is destroyed. I've missed my personality for years. Thank God it's come back.
If you feel good in your drag, then go out and fucking do it. You don't have to be the most polished queen straight away. I just chose to be. Kia ora, I'm Aubrey Hive. I am 25 years old and I'm originally from Timaru, New Zealand, but I've been living in Melbourne for the last 5 years. Aubrey Hive, obviously a bit of a pun, inspired by the campery that is Austin Powers. The opening sequences are just like, that's Aubrey Hive in a nutshell. She's camp, she's over the top, bright colors, lots of choreography, and just like absolutely stupid. I have been doing drag for just over a year now, but you would never know. Yeah, what can't I do? That's a better question. No, I'm kidding. I'm definitely a singer. That's one of my strong suits. That's actually how I got into performing originally. And then that turned into the stage. And then I went and got a theater degree. So she can act, she can tap, dance, ballet, whatever. Okay, maybe not ballet. That's too far. I think the biggest misconception will be that I'm new and young and that like, oh, she's not ready. She's not going to be able to like be on the same level as everyone else. And that's just not true. I will be ready to do whatever you need, and I'm gonna work really hard to snatch the crown, basically. She's a sponge queen, the other one.
I don't know where it comes from. It's like from the gut, and it just comes out, and it's like this guttural thing, and you always know when I'm around because you'll hear this like, I'm Anaconda, I'm 30 years old and I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I'm your fairy godmother of drag. When people hear the name Anaconda, they know they're gonna get a good show, they know they're gonna get a good cackle. Laughter's the best medicine in the world. So when I laugh, I like to get everybody else going, and they do, and they join in and we have a big old gay time. I like to make sure that everybody's feeling magical when they're in my presence. I was kind of raised on the laps of a skimpy barmaid because my mum and dad, they ran the local pub there, the Castle Hotel. Kind of ironic now that I'm a queen. I grew up in the Catholic Church. I wanted to be a priest for a really long time, and it was a way to cover up the fact that I was hiding a secret, and that secret was that I was gay. But then the walls, the facade started to fall apart. God makes no mistakes, and I'm not a mistake. He made me the way I am, and I needed to just be free of that. And in my later teenage years, I dropped away from the church and I found a new church. I found drag. It's kind of like being a priest. You know, they wear dresses and I just wear these kinds of dresses. So it all works out in the end. Over 12 years of doing drag, I've been fortunate enough to start when there was no YouTube, there was no Drag Race. It was all very much, you had to go watch someone get ready in the mirror. You had to learn tricks that way. Whereas now, all these gals that are coming up and these wonderful artists, they have every resource at their fingertips. So they don't go through that period of being like a little bit of a bastard. You know, I remember looking like an absolute shit show, but that's where I built my thick skin. You get that grit for this job. Like, this is a hard job. This is not an easy job. I'm a jack-off of all trades, and I can do it all, so these bitches better fucking watch out. I'm like a fart, silent but deadly. Well, not really silent, I'm just deadly.
You know, I've been told that my drag's shit, that I'm, it's not valid. I want to show the world and show myself that, I can do this. Hi, hello, my name is Yuri Gai. I'm 25 years old from Tamaki Makaurau. Yuri's filthy, glamorous, and just plain trash. I started drag 7 years ago when I was 18. I spent 6 months being a bedroom queen, stealing makeup from my sisters, but they didn't know. I would go to the club with a photo of myself and ask the queens, help me. And then eventually, this happened. I made 99% of everything I wear. Sewing would probably be my strongest. So sewing and makeup, creating a look. Growing up, life was, was what it was. I was homeschooled, have 7 siblings, grew up in a religious family. So, being gay, doing drag, wasn't that cute. But, is what it is. This big old poof, here I am. I feel like if I went to school, it would have been a little bit different. I think that's why I'm an introvert, but then also, if I went to school, then I probably wouldn't be as creative as I am. Drag is a lot of hard work, but it makes me happy. I get to sew clothes, which makes me happy. I get to play with makeup, which also makes me happy. So just everything about drag just makes me happy. A little bit scared of performing, but getting into it, it makes me happy. Making people happy makes me happy. I'm just happy.
Big queens represent. Look at this body. Take it in. Soak it up, because the pads underneath here are... My name's Tamara Fifth. I'm 28 years old. Don't tell anyone. And I'm from a little place called Camden, New South Wales, Australia. I'm equal parts Kiwi queen and I'm equal parts Australian queen. My father's side is Aboriginal and my mother's side is Māori, so I like to think of myself as the meat between the sausage sanger. I've been around the Sydney scene for about 8 years now. I started back in 2014. I looked like a bastard, and now I just look like a bastard, but in prettier clothes. Tamara Fifth is like an amalgamation of a truck driver and an ex-prostitute. Just wandering the streets for money at this point. Tamara Fifth is a loud, funny character, caring. She'll give you the shirt off her back, but she'll also remind you that it's not your colour. What I like to say is that I'm good at a lot of things, great at nothing. I can hold a tune, I can keep in time, I can sew a seam, I can read the house down boots, gaga mama, work. Embrace the curves, embrace the body. There's nothing more delicious than a queen with curves. I love a big hip, big booty, thick thighs, but let's be real, it does have its drawbacks. Well, the drawbacks of being a bigger woman is, first of all, you can't fit in the fucking chair. This stool feels like a pencil in my rectum. The cost of fabric. The meters of fabric you need to get just to cover this body. Not to mention...
that. American drag is polished and professional, and Down Under drag is downright dirty, and I love that. My name is Beverly Hills. I am 21 years old, born and raised on the beaches of the Gold Coast, so I'm like a little beach rat at heart, but I had to move to Brisbane for the drag. It's a big city and little queer kids can't resist a big city storyline. First and foremost, Beverly Hills is a performer. She can do anything on stage perfectly. Watch me fall, I'm gonna trip, I'm gonna be a disaster. The Beverly Hills show is all about glamour and grunge and walking the line right between the two of them. So I like to, make the audience feel excited with like a big, loud punk rock show, but I'll still entice them with that like feminine, sexual energy. I don't think it's any shock that someone like this was a bit of an outcast in school, and my love for drag started as an audience member. I watched RuPaul's Drag Race when I was, 14, 15 in high school, and then I eventually was old enough to go to the clubs and I saw local drag live and I went, oh my God. The great thing about the queer community, especially in Australia, is that we all build each other up and we're one big, giant family. And I'm very grateful to be a part of that family. To be honest, drag is sort of my own medicine. Without drag, I wouldn't be able to cope, and it makes me feel confident and passionate. The biggest misconception about me is that for a 21-year-old, I'm not experienced, or I might not know about myself or the drag that I want to do, but that is not the case. Beverly Hills is sort of like a viper in the grass. She's slow, she's silent, she's calculated, she's ready. But when she knows it's go time, she will pounce and she will attack. And that's what I'm here to do. Bring it on.
Oh my God, like I'm a Ru girl now. Like this is crazy, but it does feel correct. Hi babes, I'm Molly Poppins, I'm 30 years old and I'm the tits of Newcastle, Australia. I am a party girl at heart, so I knew Molly just wanted to be like a fun time girl and just take you straight down to Clown Town. I like to look real stunning, but act real stupid. So I haven't always been based in Newcastle, so I did live in Vancouver, Canada for like almost 3 years of my life. That's where I did most of my drag. That's where I made my name, and she was an icon in the city. Take a plane over, go ask them, they will tell you. Definitely a hardship for me was moving back to Australia and no one really knowing who I am, because I was up the top and then I come to a new scene and I had to work from the bottom, but I also knew my place and worth. I like to consider myself like a little bit of a rapstress, a little bit of like Iggy Azalea on the beat, like waka 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 waka, win. Challenges that I'm scared of, probably the design challenge, because like I'm not really a sewer. I can turn on a machine, I can sew a stitch, but that's about it, sis. The biggest misconception about me is that I'm a bitch because I have resting bitch paint, but like really, it's just the way I paint. I'm really nice, but I can definitely be a bitch if you need me to be that bitch. Advice to starting out in drag, don't do it. We have enough drag queens in the world and we don't need another one, but if it really, really inspires you, just give it a crack. Don't be scared to look busted. Most of us have been there and it's just a learning and growing experience. And like, you will get there if you persevere, but it is hard work, honey. So you better be prepared for that.